What is good, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by the title and thumbnail of this video, today is the day that I'm finally going to be doing the final review on the Vans half cab Vans shoes. Now before we get into the review, guys, I just want to point out that I was pretty much so biased about Vans because way back in my earlier years of skating, I always heard that like the Vans like classics or like the old schools were not meant for skating, and it was considered to be, you know, trendy skate clothing and would make you look like a poser and whatnot. And then I was at the skate park one day and I had a conversation about different skate shoes, and they mentioned about the Vans half cabs, and it was considered, as we all know, the official pro skateboarding shoe, which of course I've heard about. And it made me realize that I didn't really give Vans a chance at skating at one of their shoes. So I finally skated the shoe. Now let's get into the review. So what are the pros about the shoe? Well, the pros are this shoe right here pretty much broke in within minimal time. Like at maximum, it broke in 2 days, which was good because I don't want to be spending a week just trying to break in shoes and make it more comfortable. The other thing I liked about the shoe was the padding in the ankle area. This is, of course, it's more of like a high top shoe, of course. But of course, I don't really skate high top shoes, but I figured I'd give it a try since this is the half cab Vans shoe. Yeah, I really like the padding around the shoe around the ankle. It feels kind of nice. And it makes the shoe like very like comfortable just to like wear in casually. Another good thing about the shoe which I like is the waffle cone sole. As you can see with all Vans shoes, they all have the waffle sole, and I did not see much wear on it on the toe side here, and of course there's none on the heel side here. And another thing I liked about the Vans half cab shoe is that it's the stitching. Of course you can see the stitching right here is doubled, and of course there's a breakage here on the toe side, which I'll get to later on. But I gotta say, like, the stitching pretty much held up for a shoe like this. It held up. Also there's a wear on the heel side here where I do all my heel flips. Just two of these areas is what ripped the most, but it pretty much held up, which is good. I thought it was gonna like break down like and wear out more eventually, but surprisingly it held up very nicely, which is what I liked. Alright, now we're just gonna jump into the cons about the shoe. Now, surprisingly, I found more cons about the shoe than I did with the pros about the shoe. So first off, with breaking in the shoe, I say this shoe is more of a vulcanized shoe. As you can see, I can twist it around and just bend it any way I want, and that would be considered vulcanized. But to me, when I first put them on, along with the padding being all brand new and everything, it felt like it was more of a cup sole to me for some reason. And this leads to another con, that I didn't really feel a lot of board feel on the shoe, because when I first put them on, like I said earlier, of course the shoe is vulcanized, but it felt more of like a cup sole to me at first. And it's probably because I skated this in the cold weather, but of course if it were to be in the summertime, the case scenario would have been much different. Another con about the shoe is that the shoelace right here, as you can see, ripped in 2 days. Of course, that happens with every other skate shoe. We shouldn't be really surprised by that, but it only ripped like on the top here, and it actually ripped like on the toe side here, which why I found out a con, because as you can see, like the toe side of the shoe, you know, like the lace area, I mean, like it's more narrow here, and I thought that since it was structured that way, it would be less likely that I would rip my shoelace from this area. But I did, because, you know, I was doing more of like the ollies and stuff. Another con about the shoe, which I've mentioned about, you know, being all stiff and everything, it takes a little bit of time just to put on, and it's probably because of the padding of the shoe right here. It takes me like 5 to 10 seconds just to put the shoe on, which I kind of find, you know, a little bit intimidating. But with all the other shoes I skated, it would just take me 1 or 2 seconds just to put them on, because like it just like slipped them on easily. Now, another con which I definitely found about the shoe is that the stitching ripped off and it formed breakage into the hole in 1 week. Like, look at this thing. It formed a hole in 1 week here, and it formed a hole here, as you can see on the heel flip side and the kick flip side. Now, just because it formed a hole here, it didn't mean that it was going to expand, which is surprising that the stitching, you know, held up throughout the rest of my skating. And the hole did not expand anywhere else on the kick flip side and the heel flip side. Mind you, I've been skating this shoe for an entire month. To be honest, I didn't really skate as much as I wanted to because of this cold weather, and it was really bothering me. So yeah, this is like the most month I got out of this shoe. I tried to skate as much as I can, and this is what I got out of it. It was a 50-50 on this like performance on the stitching. So it was good, but it was not good at the same time. And another con about the shoe was the insole. Now, the insole of the shoe right here, didn't enjoy it at all. Had bad heel support when I was trying to jump down stuff. So yeah, thumbs down on the insole for that shoe. Now, a thing I forgot to point out was that when I did the 100 kick flips on this exact shoe, it didn't form much stitching. It didn't form any holes at all. Everything was going completely fine. But when I did the last 100, but when I did the last 10 kick flips on the shoe, it was starting to form a hole there. So I think I was bound to expect the hole to be forming in there. So my final verdict on the half cab Vans shoe is going to be 6.5 out of 10 for me. Why do you ask? Because for one thing, the stitching is not tripled, but it's doubled. It held up pretty much everywhere else. It only formed 2 holes, mainly where you expected to go, but it did not let the hole like expand any further throughout that month. If I were to be skating this for like another month, then it probably would expand more, but obviously you could just fix that stitching problem like ahead of time by putting some crazy glue on there, and then you should be fine. With the cotton padding, it is very comfortable, you know, on the ankle side, but I think it would be good for just casual wear, not for like skating wear, I think, if you're just skating. But then again, I don't know. This is my first time skating Vans, and I'm just giving my first impressions and thoughts about it. If you were to be getting this shoe for yourself, I would recommend going a full size up on this. Yes, you'll have like an inch of rim in the foot, but the reason why I suggest that you get a shoe size up on this shoe is that the ankle support will be too compressed on your ankle, and I found that to be very uncomfortable. This is a size 12, and my natural foot size is a size 11, and I went to a Vans store one day to get like an 11.5 size shoe, but the thing is that the ankle padding right here was too compressed on my ankles, but the shoe size from like the toe to the heel was great. Oh, by the way, I was getting 11.5 actually for this shoe, because I would usually try to get a half size up just to be like, you know, like close to it. So yeah, I went with the full size 12. At first I thought I was gonna regret it, but it turned out that it wasn't that bad. So if you're getting this shoe for yourself and wanted to skate it, see how it skates, get a full size up, just to let you guys know. And with that being said, guys, that concludes the video on the review on the Vans Half Cab. I imagined if I were to get the Vans Half Cab Pro, then maybe it will be much of a bigger difference of how the shoe would perform, you know, lasting and like wear and tear and like overall comfort, because this is the like pretty much the original that I'm skating. If you are new to the channel, like this video and subscribe if you're new. And if you guys skated this shoe for yourself, also put it down in the comments below what you think about the shoe, what you liked, what you didn't like, what would you recommend in making this shoe experience for other skaters more beneficial in the future, so that you won't have to regret, you know, saying, oh, I skated this shoe and I don't like it. But yeah, that wraps it up, guys, and until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.